Now we have our money. Just in case, yeah.
Good afternoon, thank you for coming. My name is Francisco Ramos. I'm the Executive Director of a group called Interfaith Action. You probably have heard of it. It's the logo and the information and all the brochures that you just received. And what we are going to do today is we are going to have basic introductions, both individually and to the class, to the course that you are going to be taking. We are going to answer questions. We are going to go subject by subject, explaining what the session is going to be about. But we're also going to talk about the big picture, about where this little training fits in, in a campaign that UIA has, United Interfaith Action has, to try to impact the job situation in our city. We are convening the training. We are putting it together, but people that are experts in their own area will come and make the presentations. So in the next session, next week, you are going to have somebody that is coming from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst who have a nutrition extension program here in Fall River. And that person by the name of Bebo is coming, probably two people. We have, one of the goals that we have is that you have two presenters at each section. One person that, knows the materials, that is a professional in their field, that will talk to you about the subject matter, whether it's nutrition or diabetes or something. And then there will be another person that is working or practicing what we call community health workers. So community health workers are going to come in and out. And the whole idea that we have is that once you receive the technical information about one specific issue, the community health worker is going to then introduce you to what is it that they do with this information in the community. And we will also have time to review, answer questions, so that you actually get the idea of what is it that we're expecting you to do as a community health worker. And also, as I was saying before, this training is a component of a 5-year jobs campaign that Fall River, that United Interfaith Action is putting together in Fall River. So obviously one of the goals that we have is that you actually find a job as a community health worker, right? And the training, not only the training, but the jobs campaign that UIA is putting together has also the goal of coordinating with the healthcare providers, with the hospitals. We're trying to set up meetings with the human resources departments at Charlton and St. Anne's, because we want to talk to them about this training. We want to alert them that there is a group that is being trained so that we can open possibilities for you to then go and apply for a job. And we are going to do this not only with you, but in the long term, even for people that are not in trainings. Our goal is how can we talk to them and try to generate jobs in the process. So next week then we have a Bebo. There is somebody else that's coming. We need to, the goal is to have two. And then the week after, on April 28th, we are going to have a presentation of chronic illnesses. And somebody's coming from the Greater New Bedford Community Health Center, a woman by the name of Gonzalez, who has been a community health worker for 30 years or so. So she's very well equipped to tell you what is it that she does at the health center as a community health worker. We will also have somebody that is coming from the Diabetes Association, which in Fall River is housed at People's Inc. And so you'll have the best of the best. The Diabetes Association is then a local chapter of the National Diabetes Association and whatnot. And again, they are bound to bring a lot of materials, right? Then we are going to have somebody that talks to you about cancer detection and prevention. And as you know, there are several types of cancer. There's not one only. So that person will introduce you to the different types of cancers, the signals, so that people can prevent it and detect it early, which is very key. I know that we're talking with St. Anne's Hospital about somebody coming, but some of these sessions we're still trying to pinpoint who is it that is going to come. May 12th, we're going to have somebody from CD Rec. I don't know if you're familiar with CD Rec, with the youth program. Jamison, Souza, the director. We're still trying to firm up the date, but he has committed to give that presentation to you. And the goal of this presentation, of course, is that you have in your binder all the resources in terms of health in the city of Fall River. Somebody that could give you this presentation very easily also is David. David, with the project that he runs, he has a coalition of all the health providers in the city. And the project that David runs, that Dr. Witt runs, actually is a great instrument to have all the resources together. Because they have a monthly meeting where all of the agencies come together. But the whole idea that we have, the purpose of this presentation is for you to know where they are, who they are and where they are. Because part of what happens is once you learn about diabetes, for instance, you learn the symptoms, and then you're talking to your neighbor about it, and you right away identify in your mind, oh geez, that sounds like a presentation I just had. So where do I send this person for a checkup, right? So the issue is, if you know where the resources are, you can easily say, why do we go to such a clinic? And I actually met a person that came and made a presentation, her name is such and such, and so on. And part of this is to refer people to the right place. One of the problems that hospitals and healthcare providers, basically many hospitals have, and you know this because all of us have done it, we wait until the pain is unbearable, right? We don't go for checkups, we don't go to exams, we wait until I cannot hold it anymore. And then I go to the emergency room, right? I have done that. One time I ended up in an emergency room with a sciatic nerve pain. And I had that pain, for a while, but it was until I just could not walk that then I decided to go to the emergency room. The problem with going to the emergency room, though, is that the emergency room has a system based on life-threatening situations. So if you go and sit at an emergency room because you have a toothache or a sciatic nerve, chances are you're going to be there for 10 hours because people with life-threatening situations are going ahead of you all the time. And of course, the services in an emergency room are much more expensive from the side of the provider than a regular clinic that can prevent this and then take care of it slowly. So part of this profession of community health workers is providing referrals for services. So you need that presentation of a community resource. Like anything new that we learn, we need practice, but we all, those of us that have to learn a new language, we know a lot has to do with the trust and the confidence to start talking in that language without feeling that people are laughing every time we say something. Right? It's the same with anything new we learn. And so this presentation is going to talk to you about that, about self-esteem and how to build it, what to do with it. Alcohol and drug abuse, we have an excellent program here in Fall River called the Bebo Coalition, and I don't know if you have heard of them. They are housed at SSTAR Health Center. Have you heard of SSTAR Health Center? Mm-hmm. They're housed there. I spoke to Greg, the director of this coalition, and he said, I'll be happy to make that presentation, but you need to realize May 26th is Memorial Day weekend. So we want to talk to you about that. It might not be wise to schedule a session on May 26th, but again, it's the presentation is going to cover issues such as early signs, you name it. It's going to enter into the whole issue of alcohol and drug abuse. And then Carol is going to CPR. Carol worked with People Inc. and has worked there for many years. 24 years. And then as we finish this training, this whole curriculum, we are going to have a graduation ceremony. Part of being community health workers in this community has to do with you, with skills, with self-confidence, with a commitment on your part, but it also has to do with the community knowing that you are a community health worker. No, please, let us know. Is it clear?